Boom! Alright folks, Hume here again. So, my maths and maths done, so I have a little more time to make fresh TikToks, you know. Of course, we have a whole set of excerpts in the pipeline. Alright, but fresh, let me go. So there was this problem that I had on my phone for months now, maybe 2 or 3 months. Maybe 4 months, who knows? A BOMDAS question. 7 minus 2 multiplied by 2 plus 3. You know they always have these things all over the internet, right? On YouTube and Facebook and TikTok and whatever. And there were 2 schools of thought to this question. On the one hand, some people got 0 as the answer. And on the other hand, some people got 6 as the answer. Now, I will start by telling you what the correct answer is. The correct answer is not 0, the correct answer is 6. But stay tuned for the explanation. I will show you why the answer is 6. I will show you why the answer is not 0. And in the process, give you the opportunity to pick up some maths, so to speak. Right. So we know with these questions, the first thing you have to do, according to BOMDAS, however you want to put it, is you have to multiply. So in other words, in a situation where we have these operations, these mixed operations in one phrase, in one sentence, in one expression, and we don't have any brackets to tell us, well, all right, let me deal with that first. The first thing we look for in the absence of brackets is your multiplication or your division. Right? So in this case, you have 2 by 2. So your next line here should be 7 minus 2 multiplied by 2 plus 3. So this is how you conduct your BOMDAS. So if there are no brackets, you look for the next operation in the order that we have. And then you superimpose your brackets around those things. So you put the brackets around the multiplication. That tells you explicitly that that is what we're doing first. Alright? So your next line would be 7 minus 4 plus 3. And this is where the bacchanal starts. Because there are people who work this out as 7 minus 4 plus 3 and get 6. And there are people who work it out as 7 minus 4 plus 3 and get 0. So let me start, first of all, by explaining why the answer is not 0. The only way you could get 0 from this, after having carried out a proper BOMDAS operation, is if you do this. Right? If you put the brackets here, you will have, let me put it on the right side. Now, let me put it on the left side. If you have the brackets here, what you'll have would be 7 minus 7, which would be 7 minus 7, which would be equal to 0. No problem. Some people do that. On the other hand, switch up the color of the ink now. You could do this and say 7 minus 4, you could say that is 7 minus 4 is 3 plus 3, which is equal to 6. Question is, which one is it? Which one is it between the version in black and the version in red? Well, let me find out, right? Because while the both of them seem to be correct, we look at them at the surface and say, well, yeah, and both sides arguing, ring down, going down the road as to which side is correct. There is a slight complication. And the slight complication, as you may suspect, is our good friend here, the negative sign. The negative sign is one of those things in maths that whenever it shows up, it makes life interesting. Whether we're talking regular addition like here, simple addition, indices, powers, matrices, from simple topics at Form 2 level, Form 3 level, right up to topics at A levels, university and all that. The negative sign makes life very interesting. And that's exactly what's going on here. So what's going on? What we don't get is that 7 minus 4 plus 3 is actually the same thing as 7 minus, in brackets, minus 4. Minus 4 minus is a plus here. Minus 4, hold on. Minus 4, sorry. My mistake. Minus 4 minus 3. That is what it is. Right? The only way you'll get 7 minus 4 plus 3 is if you have this here. So in other words, what we're not seeing is that minus 4 plus 3 is the same thing as minus into 4 minus 3. Let me slow it down. Let me see if I could steal any space on the board. Right. I think now I'll even adjust so you could see it. Right? Minus into 4 minus 3 is the same thing as minus 4 plus 3. So when you watch minus 4 plus 3 here, what you actually have is minus 4 minus 3. So anytime you have to put a bracket around here, if you're doing that, you must change the sign inside the bracket. Because if you're putting brackets here, what you're essentially doing is multiplying everything inside the bracket by the minus 1 outside here, which is what you have here. Another way to put it is you're factorizing an expression by taking minus 1 out as the common factor. And if you're doing that, you have to change the sign inside the bracket to maintain the mathematical value of whatever you had started out with. So what we have here as minus 4 plus 3 is actually the end product of this process here, where you multiply minus 1 by 4 minus 3. So if we were to do it like this, what we would actually have would be 7 minus 4 minus 3 is 1. And that will give you a 6 as the answer. Right? So we had to be very careful when we're working with negative signs. Right? We had to be very careful when we're working with negative signs. Generally speaking, when it's just addition and multiplication in the expression, generally speaking, 99 times out of 100, you could just run it straight from left to right. So in this case, you could say 7 minus 4 is 3. Deal with that, and then say 3 plus 3 is equal to 6, which is what we have in red here originally. The minute you try to put the brackets here, life gets complicated. Because, let me see, try the black here. Nah, orange is a little too light. Right, so in other words, you don't treat 7 plus 4 plus 3 the same way you would treat 7 minus 4 plus 3. That's two totally different kettles of fish. 7 plus 4 plus 3, you put the brackets anywhere, no difference. 7 plus 4 is 11 plus 3 is 14. 7 plus 7 is 14. Nothing to worry about if it's just addition. Life is always easy when everything is just plus. You throw in this minus sign here, pressure. Right? Easy mistake to make, easy misconception to have. And that is why, after all these weeks, being busy with teaching classes and whatever, I'm taking the time now that I could breathe a little bit. Hi! But Form 5 math and maths went off. They went and do the exam. I'm taking the time to go through the question because these things will keep coming up and people will be running around with all these arguments and stuff. But what I'm trying to do here and in other places is to go a little deeper than just, okay, the answer is 6. Okay, right, the answer is 6. But I'm taking my time to explain why the answer is 6 by explaining exactly what happens with the negative sign as I just went through there. There will be other occasions on other more complicated topics where I will tell you, yeah boy, the answer is so and so, and you just had to take my word for it. Believe me or you don't believe me. But wherever I can, I will take the time to break it down and deconstruct it and explain it and give examples, etc., etc., etc. So bottom line, BOMDAS, right? You multiply first, bam, everybody would have gotten up to here. And here is where the problem started, right? If you put the brackets here, no problem. That's what we have here in red. The minute you put the bracket here is where the problem starts, right? What you're actually supposed to do, and I'll go a little further now. Watch the magic here now. This is another way of expressing it, right? I could clear the board here now, right? Or let's see it, and or let me rewind it if all I have to. What you're actually doing, and this is the explanation that might resonate with more people. I should have said this first, but that is alright. If you're still here at this point in the video, it means that you're serious enough, and that you're curious enough, and that you're interested enough. So look the easy part now. If we have to deal with this, we're not gonna do like this as most people did. We can't do that, because in doing that, you're separating the minus sign from the 4. You can't do that. What you're supposed to do, so this here is wrong. What you're supposed to do, if you're doing that, is this. If you put in a bracket, you put a bracket around the minus 4 as well. Right? Let me just clarify that. You put a bracket around the minus 4. Right? Sorry. The bracket going around the minus 4 too. So in other words, you don't ever separate the minus from the 4. So in the same way that we open it out here and recognize that minus 4 is actually the product of a multiplication where minus 1 is multiplied by 4 and minus 1 is multiplied by minus 3 to give you plus 3. You could do this here as well. Now this, if you're doing that, you're supposed to have 7 plus minus 4 plus 3. See? So if you put in the brackets, you must put the brackets around the minus 4 as well. And of course, if you expand this out, what you end up with? Plus by a minus will give you a minus, plus by a plus will give you a plus. So this is also another way to get 7 minus 4 plus 3. 7 plus, let me work it out. 7 plus, let me switch the color there. 7 plus, right, minus 4 plus 3 is 7 plus minus 1. You see? Plus minus is minus, 7 minus 1. And you get 6 as the answer. So we work it in 2 ways, basically saying the same thing in 2 different ways, 2 sides of the same coin. And you get 6. It has no room in there for 0. Right? So let me close off this video by just making this point again, using the same 2 methods that we use, just to drive home the point that the answer is 6 and not 0. Right? So if we have, right? Watch. There are 2 ways in which we could get 7 minus 4 plus 3. What are those 2 ways? One way, as we described earlier, is, hold on, come, rub off there, man. Right? You have the wet cloth and the dry cloth. Simple things, right? So if we have, let me put the red in the middle now. What is it? 7 minus 4 plus 3. That is what we had ended up with after we applied our BOMDAS. But 7 minus 4 plus 3 is 7 minus 4. Sorry, my mistake. 7 minus, okay, while I'm drying. On the other hand here, we will say 7 plus minus 4 plus 3. Right? This here is 7 minus, come join a man, 4 minus 3. Right? Both of these will give you that. So in other words, if you're starting with this, as was the case in the second half of the question, after we apply the BOMDAS, then you either go in this route in black or this route in blue. Anything else will give you the wrong answer, which is exactly what happened in the case of the people who got 0. Right? So, hold on. Make it nice like spice. So 7 minus 4 minus 3 is 7 minus 1, which will give you 6 in blue over there. And over here in black, you have 7 plus minus 1, which will give you 7 minus 1, which will give you the same 6. Alright, so I hope I made my case. Right? And I want to encourage folks to remain curious about simple computational issues like this. Simple stuff like that. Right? It keeps your brain ticking. And it puts you in a zone where, yeah, you're a little more vigilant when the numbers are concerned. So, as always, stay in tune, stay in touch. We have plenty more things coming up.